So, game 3 against Ethan. It's always great playing this guy, it's always really good matches. Especially because we are using pretty much the same team. He's got a Rotom and H-Slash instead of my Thunderous and my Suicune. But apart from that, we've got the same team. So my Intimidate goes first, and I've got 1 IV with 4 EVs into my Scrafty. So I'm quite confident that my Fake Out will go first. That's why I effectively risk against the Scrafty my Fake Out. Get it off, and I get a substitute. So he's going to burn my Scrafty. If he Hydro Pump my Heatran, it would have just been a dead turn. I would have taken a tiny bit of damage. But he burns my Scrafty. It's not a very offensive Scrafty at all, so it's not that big a deal. It's mainly there for Intimidate and Fake Out. So I'm going to switch it out into my Venusaur because his 2 can't really touch Venusaur at all. And here I'm going to protect my Heatran, and it pays off. He is going to double into it with a Thunderbolt to break the sub rather than Hydro Pump, which could miss, and a Drain Punch, so it's going to do nothing. So here, I switch out. Even though I've got a substitute, I'm going to switch out into my Landorus, because he has no reason not to make the same play again. And if I leave Heatran in, I could get Heat Wave off, but it's not going to do that much. And I would rather take less damage, or as little damage as I can, and the Drain Punch from the Scrafty would do significant damage to Heatran. So he's going to Thunderbolt into the Landorus, and I'm going to Giga Drain this Rotom for a lot of damage. He's going to put it into Citrus Berry range. There we go. And it looks like it'll be a 3-hit KO with my Giga Drain. So here's the Drain Punch. It's going to do nothing at -1. Well, it's a -2 because of my Scrafty. So yeah, it's going to do 14 damage, which is nothing. It's a lot less than I would have taken if I'd have left Heatran in and got off the Heat Wave. Heat Wave would have put Rotom into another Giga Drain KO range, but I think I prefer to take less damage because this is more of a defensive team, so you want to take less damage. So here, Superpower onto the Scrafty. Life Orb, Jolly, and it doesn't KO it. So, lovely. There's the Life Orb. Missed out a lot of KOs with this Jolly one rather than Adamant, but I'm going to double into Scrafty. I was hoping Superpower would take it out and then the Sludge Bomb would go onto the other slot, but I Sludge Bomb just in case it didn't knock out, and it didn't, which is a shame, but Scrafty goes down pretty much for free. So here, out comes the Landorus into my Heatran, because his 2 can't really touch Heatran. He can Shadow Ball, but then I would just get off a Heat Wave against the Blade Form. So here, he's going to Mega Evolve, and now we can discover who's faster. I haven't got 4 EVs in my Venusaur, so when I saw my Venusaur go first, I was pretty confident that mine was the fastest one. So here, just going to share Leech Seeds, and he's going to get up the substitute. So I got the Leech Seed up before the substitute, which is really nice. And he shows Leftovers. So I'm pretty sure I knew what this Aegislash was. It's a sub-toxic Aegislash, and I don't know whether I knew that at this point. But I might have done. I'm not sure. But here, all the Leech Seeds. Nice recovery. I've had full health, so it didn't really matter. It's just a little bit of damage. Heat Wave knocks out the sub, doing nice damage to Venusaur. There we go. Critical hit. Was that against the Venusaur or against the sub? Probably against the sub. So that didn't really matter. Sludge Bomb. Still go faster. Still go first again, so I'm definitely faster. Because of his reaction, he wasn't surprised that I at least speed tied with him because I was going faster. So I could judge off that I was the faster Venusaur. Here comes the Shadow Ball. It's going to do a nice chunk to Heatran, but it wasn't going to knock me out unless it was Life Orb, and I had already seen the Leftovers. So I knew I would survive. Now here comes more Leech Seed, which is going to knock out my Heatran, which is a shame. I thought I could survive the Shadow Ball and the Leech Seed, but I didn't, which isn't the worst thing, because here comes my Leech Seed, and I can bring in my Scrafty and threaten this Aegislash out now. But I'm going to bring in Landorus apparently, because I don't know what I'm talking about. So here, I'm going to Intimidate this Aegislash and this Venusaur, both completely useless because they're special attackers. Now, he's going to fear my Protect on Venusaur and Earthquake, because that is a very sensible move. So here, I'm going to Rock Slide, possibly flinch this Venusaur. There's the Life Orb. And I'm going to Giga Drain this Aegislash, because I was pretty sure he would want to switch it out to avoid the Earthquake. So I get pretty much all my health back, knock out this Rotom, which is really nice. And he's going to get up his Leech Seed onto my Landorus because he obviously predicted my Protect from Venusaur, so there'd be no point Sludge Bombing it. So there we go, Leech Seed. Back onto the Venusaur, and it puts it, looks like, out of Sludge Bomb KO range. So back comes the Aegislash, and it's back in shield form. I think the Earthquake would get it from there, but I'm not going to risk it. Going to bring out my Scrafty, get another useless Intimidate. There we go. And burned, I think it would knock out this Aegislash in Blade form. So here's the Sludge Bomb, definitely out of range. And he Giga Drains onto my Landorus, which is now the Scrafty, and it doesn't take that much damage. And it doesn't recover enough to put it out of Sludge Bomb range. So he's going to stance change into Blade form, and Shadow Ball onto my Venusaur. Doing a nice chunk, it looks like a 3-hit KO. Some more leftovers. Now I threaten with the knockoff onto this Aegislash. Even though I'm burned, it should knock it out, shouldn't it? Depending on the investment of Scrafty. Still faster, get the knockout onto Venusaur. Here's the knockoff. Well, here's the Aegislash going first because that's what I've eaten my Scrafty to do. It was definitely a 3-hit KO. Here's the knockoff. And it doesn't knock it out. Quite surprising. It didn't really matter in the end, but, you know, that was quite unusual that it wouldn't knock it out in Blade form, even though it was burned. But I can just Giga Drain it. There's no point in King Shielding or anything. Would have had to get like 12 King Shields to put him back to full. That's not going to happen. So there we go. Game 3-1. That was a good match against effectively a mirror match. So I think the fact that I had a faster Scrafty and a faster Venusaur definitely helped out. It will always help out in mirror matches if you're faster. So, on to the next match.